Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the HalfGen podcast. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling today. I got the head bob, and I'm just like, I'm here. Let's do
I was
this.
like, I didn't know where you was going. I was like, where's the next step in the movement there?
I don't know. You know, the couple minutes before we started this, I was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm gonna podcast today. But man, when we started, it hit me, you know, and I was just like, okay, I'm vibing. Let's go.
There we go.
Nat, how you doing?
I'm all right. I was gonna explain to our faithful listeners if they haven't noticed. I don't know. You might want to get your ears or eyes checked, but one person who hasn't been girthy for a while is missing here, and our good pal Ross is having a migraine and is not able to join us tonight. But you know. Our best wishes to our friend.
I was gonna play the old on assignment, you know.
Oh, okay.
That's how you say when people aren't on a podcast, they're on assignment.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I have some other close friends who deal with migraines pretty frequently, and migraines are a serious business. I know they can be unbearable for a lot of people. So it's like, I just want everybody, if you have migraines, to send your thoughts out to my boy Ross, or just get some sleep or something. I don't know what you do because I don't really get migraines like that. So
I used to in high school. And I know this probably sounds bad. So in high school, all my friends had gym during like the lunch period. So they had the longer period of gym, and I had gym later in the day. So I had study hall during the same period, and the study hall teacher didn't really care. So I was like, "Hey, can I go to gym?" And he's like, "Sure. Yeah, you can go." So I would always do gym with my friends for like the hour block we had it, where it would normally be like 40 minutes. So I would go for the longer session with all my friends and then go to lunch with them. And then, during the early parts of the year when we're playing like flag football and stuff like that, I would do 2 gyms a day. But then when it was shit I didn't care, like I loved volleyball, the football, all that stuff. But then when it was like something I didn't want to do, if it was like fucking aerobics or something, I was just like, I got a headache. I'm gonna sit this one out. And the teacher didn't care because I already did a session that day. So he'd be like, sure. And then all the other people in the gym would be like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting down? I'm like, I got headache, I got migraine. I don't know, man. It's crazy. So I did 2 gyms when I wanted to. And then when I didn't, I got to just sit out in mine and just sit on the bench and watch everybody do it. Yeah. I got to pick and choose when I wanted to participate, and the teacher didn't care because, like I said, I was already doing it, so he didn't care what I did at that point.
Nice.
That's how I relate to migraines, is just doing gym twice or not in high school.
I feel you. I was wondering where you was going with there. I was like, like you had me, then you lost me, but then you had me again.
Yeah, no, it was always going somewhere. It just took a minute to get to the destination. I actually minimize this because this is really bright on my screen right now. There we go. I'm also charging my mouse. I bought a new mouse for our video.
You got a Razer mouse, right?
Yes, for our video viewers out there. Let me see if I can hold this better. Here we go. I got the Viper Ultimate. Comes with this fancy. I don't know if I have enough slack to show it on the camera. Kind of. Comes with this fancy RGB charging dock. And so my mouse is kind of dying. So I'm placing it on the dock while we record, while I don't need it. I previously had a mouse. I was very happy. Can you? There we go. My old mouse is still right here. My G502. It sounded like I dropped it. I didn't. I was playing catch with my old mouse. This mouse is great.
For the audio listeners, my friend Chris squeezed it like you squeeze a soap in the shower, then caught it with his other hand.
Yes, exactly as you do in the shower. My shower technique is exceptional. Can you type that in? That might be the title. Would you mind?
I do not have it open, but I'll try to remember.
Might have to text it to me. So I had the 502, and I loved this mouse. I had a wired version for like 3 or 4 years, and I loved it. but it was getting old, and you can kind of even see it on this one. This one's only a year old. If you're watching the video, you see how it's got like that sheen that plastic gets when you've used it for a while, when it's kind of a cheaper plastic. You know how it gets really shiny like keys on a keyboard? Thank you. Appreciate you.
I didn't actually text it to you yet.
Oh, well, somebody else texted me.
No, I texted you, but I just,
okay.
Preferenced it with why I'm texting you because Ross is also going to get this.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you want I like that he's getting it. He's going to be so confused. I love it. This mouse is great. So it was getting old. I had it for like 3 or 4 years, and so I bought a new one during Black Friday, like 2018. Maybe 2019. No, yeah, 2018. So I bought a new one, and I used that. And between the first one and the new one, Logitech changed the switches in their mice. Now these little clicks here, they're pretty good still, but they have a fatal flaw.
What's the fatal flaw?
So
I was about to click a bunch, but then I just realized, I was like, what if I accidentally close out Audacity? Then I panicked. And
that's why I'm clicking with the mouse that isn't plugged
in. I mean, I could just switch this to like, I got like little numbers on here because this isn't a gaming mouse. So I could switch to like 2, which is technically my MacBook, and then clickety click.
Gotcha. No, that's fair. So there's a problem with these switches. And the problem is that they're very cheap. And I don't know if this plays. You can't really hear it very well, but there's a rattle by where you click. You can. I don't know if that plays. You kind of hear it.
It's all good.
Yeah,
I know the idea because I've had a similar problem with my MX Master that we could talk about later.
Yeah, so Logitech switches are awful. And after a short while, like literally, I bought this mouse in April, I think, or March of 2020. So this mouse isn't even a year old yet. And it has become borderline unusable because I keep looking at myself over here. I need to minimize that window. I can't do it right now. This mouse is almost unusable because if I'm playing a shooter like Apex or Destiny and I hold my right click, what will happen is as you like aim down sights, it will pull you out and back in like it's repeatedly pressing right click, and it doesn't always do it. But when it does it, it is the single most frustrating thing you could ever have happen to you in a game. It's worse than lag. It's worse than it's almost worse than someone cheating because it's just like it's something that should just work and doesn't. And it's something that's like almost entirely in your control because it's your mouse. It's like the one thing that you control and it failed you, I have invested in this mouse, between this and the mouse pad that goes with it to charge it while it's like in use. I spent probably $250 just for this mouse and its compatible mouse pad. Say what you will. That's money I spent. That's fair. But that was all with the expectation it would work if the mouse is $150. But here we are. This mouse is great. I loved this mouse until I got my Viper. The very first day I used that thing, it was like I had it forever. Like that thing just feels phenomenal. It weighs less than half of this mouse. And this is already, like, people say this is a heavy mouse, but it's a pretty light mouse. That thing weighs less than half of this. It feels great. I usually, don't like the ambidextrous mice. I don't like the G903. That's why I waited for them to release a wireless 502. But I love the Viper. It's light. It feels good. The clicks feel really solid. The only thing it doesn't have that I wish it did was Logitech. You know how you can, release the scroll wheel? It doesn't have that. That's the only, and it doesn't have the tilt scroll. Yeah, so you can just spin the mouse forever. Yeah. It also doesn't have the tilt scroll. But you know what? I will gladly give those up for a right click that works every time the way I expect it to.
Okay.
And so that's on you, Logitech.
I have since we're talking about mice, I have a Logitech MX Master. This is like the second gen, I think, of this mouse. But I've had this forever. I've had this for like 4 or 5 years now, and I've had the mouse go out on me, and I fixed it myself because what happens, and I'm pretty sure this is what's happening to you, is in the inside the mechanism where it clicks the button, there's a piece of copper that goes in and bends around, and what you're actually clicking is you're pushing the plastic on top into the copper, and that's pushing the button. What happens is that bends and then kind of gets like warped. And what I did to fix this is I've done it only once so far, is open it up and then rebend it so it doesn't do that. I mean, you shouldn't have to do that,
Yeah.
but I actually prefer heavier mouses, and this is I want to say it's heavy. It's I would actually prefer if this mouse was a little bit heavier, just like not a gaming thing, but a like design thing. Having something that feels like it's there, that my hand won't drift, is more useful doing like drawing with my mouse or something.
No, and that's fair. And for that, like, it's probably a perfect use case for you.
Mhm.
For me, though, I'll tell you what, man.
No, I mean,
Like,
I
I
want to get a new mouse.
really.
I want to find something that's
Oh
the
no, I
in.
was talking about the weight, not
Oh,
not the mouse. I wasn't gonna criticize. Pardon me, hiccups. I wasn't gonna criticize your mouse. What I was gonna say
mm,
is, I really thought I liked heavier mice as well until I
mm,
started using this thing, man.
okay.
Like, because that was my concern, is like I didn't want something I was gonna like lift up and stuff like that. But I find I actually lift this up less than I do my Logitech.
Okay.
So like I've this mouse feels way, because like I don't have to make the conscious effort as much to move it because it's so light that I just kind of do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's not something I'm thinking about when I'm moving the mouse. Like I'm not thinking about having to pick it up to move it or things like that, to like recenter and stuff like that. The mouse just goes, man. And it goes. It's great. I haven't had a Razer mouse since my Death Adder, and this thing's phenomenal. And I'm kind of back on the Razer train. Credit to them; they make a damn good mouse.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. I wish Logitech. I wish Logitech just had a better system, because whatever everybody else is using, like Logitech is the only company that has that problem with the switches, and it
Hmm.
wouldn't even be that bad. But like, it's got a 2-year warranty on the mouse. But every time I try to do the warranty, why is this not? Hold on. Hello?
All good.
Why are you like this?
Hello.
No, it's fine. The window is just.
I was just, I'm just trying to keep talking so the listeners have something to listen to. While Chris is looking at his window, he's maximizing and he's looking around. He's figuring out what's happening. And audio listeners, I hope you're getting an enjoyment of my
I,
voice when I get
I'm
real close to the mic.
I'm looking at Nat because I don't know what's going on anymore.
I don't. I just trying to keep speaking, so we didn't have any dead air in between.
I didn't think
So,
we were
when
good. This
Ross is
is
here, I
all
can
good.
lean back and then chill out. But
Let me actually turn that off, because then oh god, no.
and
That
Chris
didn't
turned
do
it
what I
off. He was surprised when it
They
didn't
can
do.
hear me. I'm like, he's narrating. I'm like, they can hear me.
Chris frustrated with the narrative voiceover.
God damn it. Like, I'm
Lashes
not even
out at the world.
I'm not even mad. I'm just like, wait, why? I'm like, wait, they can still hear me. I'm like, why is he doing it? They can hear me saying it. Oh god.
Chris pleads with the voice in his head.
God damn it.
He pleads to the Almighty for help.
Dear Almighty, please.
Mhm.
No, but what I was saying, I realized that the window wasn't maximized, so you saw like the Discord border.
Mhm.
And that was in like the first episode, and I realized that I didn't do that, so I've been trying to do it every time.
Mhm.
And I realized it wasn't again. And it's like, come on, guy. Logitech's website sucks. Their support site is terrible, and I can't log into it across 2 different browsers. And so I can't make a warranty claim on my mouse.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, pal.
Yeah, so that's why I bought a new mouse. And I registered this one, and I could do it all through the Synapse. So, like, already a little bit better. Little better customer experience there. Logitech be slipping. I used to be diehard Logitech. Now I've got a Corsair keyboard. I've got a Razer mouse. You know, the webcam's all that's left now. Mm-hmm. That's all that's left. That's Logitech. Oh, and I didn't have this last week. But for anybody interested in our future video endeavors, I did get my 4K 60 Pro. So we're going to start using this to record some next gen or current gen footage of games. So you should see those coming through a lot nicer in the future. I just bought this big old pack.
You want to see what I got this week?
Yeah. Bought this big old pack of...
You ready for this?
Okay, hold on. What is that? I knew it was Pepperidge Farm. Oh, you got pirouettes. I've got a box of Milano cookies. That's the best I got. I can't top that, Nat.
They're actually empty. I finished them already.
Oh, Jesus. Nice. Yeah, I got a 2-pack of 15-foot HDMI cables.
Intense.
2.1. These were the highest rated I could find on Amazon.
There we go.
I also had to buy a new USB hub. Can I tell you, it is a nightmare.
Still not working?
No, it's working fine.
Okay.
It was doing a weird thing. I think it was
Divinity.
Yeah, it was weird in Divinity, but I don't think it was. I think the computer was just trying to set up the new hardware and was trying to understand the fact that it was like splitting all these USB signals. I think that was the issue. But yeah, buying a USB hub is hard. You know, but years ago I would just buy one, you know? I worked at RadioShack. I just bought one at RadioShack because I got a discount.
RadioShack is back, by the way. Did you see that?
Oh God, no.
I've been getting ads that they're back.
No.
That's
we don't need RadioShack.
I'm just telling you,
the world doesn't need RadioShack. That's not the play. Unless RadioShack wants to come back and be the next Micro Center, like I don't see what they're gonna do. We've got capacitors again. Yay!
For like, if they came back and they had like Raspberry Pis and more like, if they had like 3D printers and more stuff like that, I think it would be useful. Because I mean, I feel like they've been like, if they go more towards that market, they could fill in a hole and just carry like some more general electronic stuff.
I can see it being more hobbyist. Like I think that's the direction you're going, more hobbyist electronics rather than, because the thing is, when I worked there, it was like 2011. They went hard on cell phones.
Yeah,
that was their business, and it was phones or die, and they eventually died. And I do feel like there's an opportunity because their stores were generally like smaller footprints. That would be the way I would do it if I was going to bring back a RadioShack, is make it a more hobbyist electronics store. Try and get people who are knowledgeable and like interested in the tech, and then talk to people about Raspberry Pis, do that. Show them how, the things they could do.
They could carry your like everyday, like cheap monitor or something that people can buy, and they could carry all the bullshit random people want, like walkie-talkies or your everyday tablet, but they shouldn't get back into the phone market aside from iPhone, Samsung, like aside from like the big, like those I think they should carry if they feel like they absolutely need to carry phones, you know what I mean?
I don't think they do, and I don't think that market is open anymore. I think the door is closed on that. There's not really a place for new phone manufacturers or not manufacturers. I'm sorry. For new phone retail, I don't see that being the future because you already got Best Buy. all the retailers, Verizon, AT&T, all of them already have the market saturated. Radio Shack is competing with the brands, and that's not the move. Maybe carry a couple like prepaid phones just for like, grandma and
I would say,
grandpa
yeah,
who
those
need a
prepaid.
phone right now.
Grandma, grandpa, the kid growing up that you don't want to get them an actual phone yet, and the drug dealers. They all need, burners.
Yeah.
And your average hitman, he needs a burner.
You're carrying Net 10, you're carrying Boost Mobile, you got Track Phone, all that stuff. A couple AT&T here and there, some
Some
Verizon for
walkie-talkies,
when they got class.
some RCA cables, some HDMI stock. That's what they should do. They should be able to like, okay, I need this length HDMI, and they should be able to crimp you a HDMI cable. I mean, not HDMI, Ethernet cable. You know what I mean?
That could be
They should have
interesting.
that type of stuff.
That could be interesting. Like they Radio Shack, if they're gonna come back, they need to be the first place you think of when like I need something kind of obscure, but I need it right now.
Yeah.
Which it should be. Instead of going to Best Buy to buy an Ethernet cable, go to Radio Shack to buy it. That should be their market. And hey, while you're here, have you seen the latest Chromebook? This one's only $199.
They're carry general products like that, like Chromebooks, your tablet, your easy to sell tablet, stuff like that, and then your more obscure hobby stuff like 3D printers. Maybe carry the spools, the plastics, or whatever for 3D printing, and just random other stuff.
Yeah, like I think it'd be cool if they actually had 3D printers and that was a service they provided and you could go in and 3D print. That would be cool. And that's something that not a lot of places are doing right now. So that actually, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, you know what, Radio Shack could fill a void here. But I think you need to be in charge, Net.
I don't need to be in charge at all. Unless they cut the check.
Cut the check.
But yes, like random memory cards, stuff like that, I feel like would be great there.
Yeah, I need an SD card right now. Oh, we bought a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and there's not enough storage for all these games. I need to go buy an SD card. Well, let's go to Radio Shack. They're down the road,
Yeah, they'll be like they need a price right in between. They're cheaper than Best Buy and stuff, but they're a little bit more expensive than Amazon. So you pay for the premium of getting it right then and there, but you're not paying Best Buy, Walmart prices.
Yeah, like I think they need to avoid the power users with the exception of like minor components. Like I think that like the fuses and capacitors is something they should probably keep doing because that's what they were known for. That's your draw for power users. But in terms of like, if you're going to sell devices, like complete devices, I don't expect them to carry, RTX 3080s, that's, but you know what, that might actually, be a good market for them. Like,
especially if they get a good online store and then they're another place that you can get stock from.
I think like PC components is a huge opportunity. I think you stay away from gaming.
Yeah.
Because Radio Shack has tried that so many times and it hasn't worked. Stay away from consoles. Maybe you get into PC components, carry a couple Ryzen processors, carry a couple Intel, carry some RAM.
Obscure, just everything normal. Carry some RAM, general specs. Carry some mice. You run out your mice fucking copper thing bends, and now you need a new mouse. So they got some Razer, some Steel Series, some
a little bit. Get the really like mainstream, like this is what a budget gamer would buy, but then have the option of like, hey, I can get this to you in a day or two, free shipping, if you need the higher end component. And like target the places that like don't have a micro center and just be like, hey, there's no competition around here. Maybe we stock some of this stuff in this store to draw
corner
people
the
in.
market on cabling, whether it's like USB-C cables or you need a SATA cable right now, or you need, like I said, if you could cut people custom length Ethernet cables, like all that type of stuff. I feel
that needs to be their niche. They need to have the emergency stuff right now. You need to be able to walk in. I need a SATA cable, power or data. Yes. Okay, here you go. That's $10. Have a nice day.
They need to be knowledgeable because they should be able to help the old lady who comes in here. Like, I can't find this cable. They should be able to identify whatever cable it is when the old person.
Let me see the port. Okay, cool. Yeah. So here's what you need.
Yes, and hand it to them right there. You know what I mean? Because like that's one good thing about them and what you call like back in the days, they used to have all the like miscellaneous like power cables and stuff for like home phones and stuff.
Like, here's how I picture a Radio Shack right now, okay? because even at my job, like we have tablets for everything. We can do everything in furniture. You know, we do everything sitting on the furniture. You can sit on the couch and buy that couch. I imagine a modern day Radio Shack, small store, 2 people, maybe 3 tops. You know,
two
there's
people, two
tables,
people on the
kind of,
floor, one person in the back.
you know, like the manager or something, and then like you have 2 tables out there, kind of like when you go into the phone store and you know they have the 2 like they have the tables where you set up the phone and stuff. You have like 2 tables. And then you have like that are manned, that have like associates with them. And then you kind of have 2 other tables in the back for enthusiasts in like the section where maybe you do carry the PC parts and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, I need to buy this cable, but I need to, or like, you know, you should be able to go in and be like, hey, you know, I want to buy this cable, but if I bring in my PC, can I test it? Because I need to know if it's my motherboard or this, you know? And
Stuff
I
like
think that would be cool if you could go in, buy the thing, test it, and then be like, okay, that wasn't it. All right, so
That's what I
cool.
said. If they
So
had like
I could give you
knowledgeable
this
people that could help
motherboard
you
right now.
troubleshoot, that would be nice. You know what I mean?
Even like if I go in there, like I'm looking at, I'm not trying to be like, you know, I'm elitist PC builder, but like I would love that to be able to like put my PC in my car, go to this place and not have to drive home and find out something didn't work and be like, oh shit, okay, so something broke on my motherboard.
Also, because
here's a new motherboard.
Because they're in such a small footprint, they could have like flagship stores that keep more stuff that they could send to the other stores and be like, hey, we'll have this here in X amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you should be able to go there. If they corner the market on troubleshooting stuff, they would be great. You know what I mean?
They can out Geek Squad the Geek Squad. You know,
and it wouldn't feel like a weird thing where the Geek Squad takes it in the back and comes back and tells you they fixed it. Is where they could have you out on the floor, and there could be the gateway to getting people more electronically like enthusiastic.
And they can show you and be like, okay, so here's your problem. Here's what happened. You didn't hook up your power button. Let me show you. Like, I pulled up the manual for your motherboard. Here's how the connectors go in. Let's do it, you know? And like somebody should be able to go in. That is like the dream. In a post-COVID world, somebody should be able to go into a store, and that right now that store is kind of Micro Center, but they build it for you. I would love the idea. I could go into a store if I'm someone who's new and never done this before, and somebody, you know, there's a price for the time. I'm not saying they should do it for free. There should be a charge, but it's like $100 and we'll help you build your PC, you know? And we have all the parts. You should be able to, God, like I imagine this scenario where you pre-pick all the parts, the associate gets all the parts, you have a date and a time scheduled to come in with like an hour and a half bracket, and you sit with that person and you help them build that PC, you know, to go in somewhere and have someone teach you how to build a PC so that later, if something happens or you do an upgrade or something, you know how to change your RAM and which slots they go in. You know how to install an NVMe, you know? That to me is like the magic moment, you know? That's what stores are missing now. Stores are all about the product. They're not about the interaction. And I think that's how you can make a difference right now, is you can make your store about the experience. You want people to leave your store and be like, holy shit, like, that was incredible. Like, I need to tell people about this.
Yeah. I was going to say that, and I don't want to say carry a bunch, but like maybe 1 or 2, like maybe 2 pre-built PCs that if like somebody's like deciding, oh, I might want to get in a PC, they have like a low end, and I don't think they should carry a high end PC, but like a mid.
They should offer it though, and like you can have it built.
But the high end,
carry it.
They offer to build, don't carry it though.
No, yeah.
I don't think they're the market for people to buy a high end PC. You know what I mean?
People looking for a high end pre-built, I feel like that market is kind of cornered online with like the Origins and stuff like that. But they can undercut them. You know, if it's all about the price. You know, you look at places like, you know, NZXT, they'll build the thing for $100, but they sell it to you at MSRP. If Radio Shack can do that and be like, hey, and you can come pick it up on this
you're
day.
Gonna have to pay for shipping. You get it built.
Your car and come get it.
just come get it.
and
15 minutes together.
we'll show it up and running, have
Mhm.
someone in the back who's just working on parts and stuff like that, like have the man have, maybe it's a 4-person store now. And if you
Mhm.
get to the point where it's busy enough, you have someone in the back building, you have somebody kind of putting that stuff together. Or maybe it's at a corporate level. Maybe they pre-build the PC somewhere, ship it to the store, and then your responsibility is, okay, I'm going to put in the graphics card, I'm going to hook up all the wires now. So like the
Yeah,
PC is
maybe they
together and good, and I'm
keep
just
it
doing the
together, but
final touches.
the random stuff like process, not random, but like the option
The
stuff,
major
like
components are in.
everything will be together, like everything you need from most people don't need CD drive, but let's say they put it in there, they put all the power supply and everything. For the most part, you could cross the board for most of them, and then you just get like, oh, you want to do Ryzen. So they have like a Ryzen build and they have an Intel build. The chip slots are the same, but they only carry one set of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, here's your Ryzen card. Here's the graphics card you chose and your RAM. And that's the stuff to go. But everything else is like pretty much set up.
You kind of draw the line maybe, and you say, okay, for custom builds, we draw the line at like a 3080. We draw the
Yeah.
line at like, an 8-core processor. Like we're not
Mhm.
going to get into the 16 core.
We're not
or
going
the
to build you a
12 core.
Threadripper. We're not going to
We're not
build
going to
you
do
like
that stuff.
a
We're not going to build
workstation.
servers and stuff like that. We'll have a means to get you the parts. You can buy the parts. But people at that point, if they're going to buy a PC that powerful, they probably want to build it themselves anyway.
Yeah, I was
So
saying,
you kind of limit.
if you want them to build it, they should be able to help. Like they should be a novice tool and not a, hey, let me come in here.
I think all the way through intermediate,
Yeah.
they should have that option. And I think they should also have like moderately high end, like you were saying, an option, up to a 3080, up to an 8-core kind of thing of just like, I know what I want, and I want a really good PC, and I just don't want to build it.
Yeah.
And they should be able to appease that market as well with the same idea of, okay, we're not going to have these parts in our store. Maybe in the store you carry a couple 3080s or something, but you're not going to have the fully built. Like, God, to be able to go into a store and buy a PC case. You know how hard it is to walk into a store and leave with a PC case?
The only store you can do that now is Micro Center that I know of.
So when Ross was here a couple years ago, sorry, I'm taking a quick.
You're okay. Best Buy.
Quick
You used
swig.
to be able to buy a case in Best Buy. I previously had bought a case in Best Buy, but it was like, it was very, I want to say not only was it slim pickings, but it was not like focused for gamers at all. It was like it was a really shitty case I ended up buying.
When Ross was here a couple years ago, we rebuilt his PC. He had the old Revolt from iBuyPower. It was just this teeny tiny case, and we needed to. It was just overheating all the time, and we needed an easier way to get in there and kind of change it up and stuff like that. And at the time, I think he also bought a new graphics card, and that was the big thing. Is we tried to put the graphics card into, because he was running like a 770, and it was like 2018. Like this thing, like the 10 series had already been out, and the RTX series were already coming out. And so it was time. And so he bought an RX 580 for like $200. It was a good deal. And it wouldn't fit into his case. So we're driving around. We're going to Best Buy because he's at my place. We're going to Best Buy, and all Best Buy doesn't sell them. We call this place nearby. Shout out to Kaplan Computers. They had cases, and like we literally bought the one off the floor because that was just the one they had, And it was a decent case. It was like Cougar, I think was the brand. And he had that case up until he just did his rebuild last year. He's got a much better case now, but it was a good case, and it. But that's the thing. We had to go all around town until we finally found something that worked.
Well, they should be targeting like just the very basic like NZXT or Fractal cases or something. They shouldn't get anything too hot, boy. They should get the stuff that appeals, that are like this is a simple case that has options, but it's not like. They shouldn't get the crazy wall-mounted all-glass case.
Popular, mainstream, affordable. That should be the three things. If it's popular, if it's like mainstream, and if it's affordable, that is what they should carry in their store. It should be something that somebody can come in and kind of be like on a whim, like, okay, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're putting $200 cases out there, like if you're putting my case out there, I like my case a lot, actually, but like my Crystal Cube. But like You put that on a shelf, people are going to look at that and they're going to see $200 and they're going to be like, what the fuck? No, like nobody's going to buy $150, RGB AIO probably from RadioShack for $200. Maybe you get like, you figure something out. But again, like you don't need crazy components. You should be able to build a very modest but effective PC in store. And then you should be able to have parts of like, hey,
stay away from water cooling.
My GP. No, you should have AIO options. I think
they should have AIO, but I'm saying like,
custom. No, don't do custom water cooling.
Stay away
don't do
from
that.
those.
But like, you should be able to go into the store. Hey, my GPU just died. Great, I've got a 3070 right here. That's the highest I carry in the store. I'm sold out of 3080s, but I've got a bunch of 3070s here for you. Perfect, I'll take it. I've got these 3060s.
They have a workbench set up, so you bring it in. Like, let's really test your processor, see if it's your processor. You know what I mean?
Did you want us to install this for $50? And like, maybe $50 for a GPU, maybe, that's a little bit much. But at the same time, it's like, hey, that's time, and time is money. And if it's a convenience, hey, we can install this for $30. And if somebody's going to look at it and be like, you know what, $30 just to make sure it's working, I'll be in. You book a time online or over the phone, you come in, you pay $30 for the thing. They go in, they do it, and they test it. They hook it up to a monitor. Yeah, everything's great. Hey, I also noticed that you're running slower RAM. We actually have a deal going on. We've got this Corsair RAM. We're running a sale right now. It's only $80 and it's actually a lot faster than the RAM you have in there. I'll swap that in right now, no extra charge. It's RAM. Boom. You just upsold. You sold an $80 kit of like 16 gig RAM, whatever the cost is at the time. You've made their PC better. RAM is, a modest upgrade in some cases, depending on which, allegiance you are. But still, you made an upsell, and then you told them, yeah, I could swap that in for free. RAM is easy. You don't have to pay for that. Because you go to a place like Geek Squad, they're going to charge you to install that RAM. Charge for important components that like, hey, we want to make sure this is all working. Charge for that. But for RAM, just be like, boom, pop these in. Cool. 2 and 4, you got your dual channel. Everything's up and running. I set the XMP or DCOP in your BIOS. You're good to go. Enjoy the PC. Have a great day.
I was saying they have that. They have like workbenches set up so you could troubleshoot components. Be like, hey,
that would be dope. That would be dope. Bring your GPU and let's see.
Yeah.
Put it on the
that, or like, especially in a world where like people are going more in on VR or augmented reality. That could be a place where in a COVID-free world, you come in, they have the big headsets. They have a Vive, they have a Quest, they have a whatever Microsoft's augmented reality thing is they're working on. They have all of that stuff there. So in a place where you really can't try it out anywhere, they have a place where you could come try it out with the comparable build to run it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to come in and they see a Vive and like, wow, this is it, and I like the Vive more than the Quest, they can buy.
Imagine like a small like area where they just had VR and it was the VR zone, and you could just kind of move around in it. Oh, that's kind of dope, man. That was what sold me on VR when we went to the Boston Indie Game Festival a couple years ago. I think it was 2017. We went with those gaming nerds, or 2016. What?
FIG, right?
Yeah, BFIG.
Yeah, cool.
We went there and we had a meeting with HTC, and that was the thing. I didn't care about VR until I tried the Vive, and that was the thing. And I went through that demo, and I must have been the worst person because Ross blew through the demo in a couple minutes. But dude, I was walking around. I was soaking it in. Like I was the person that they could just point at, be like, that guy's gonna buy a Vive. They knew leaving there, like, that guy's going to buy one of our headsets. It was incredible. And, like, seeing it for the first time is what sold me on it.
Stuff like that is stuff that they should be carrying. They should carry some random, like, cameras, like some GoPros, some, like, 360 cameras. Not a bunch, but just enough, that if somebody wants to come in, they should be able to field, like, like I said, hobbyists. Like, the people who, like, oh, I need a lens right now. They have
intermediate to like just super baseline high end, like not even high end. I would say like baseline.
Well, they
like
have
mid high.
They should have one of style lenses, like one of X style lenses. Like they should have one for Canon, one style of close up lens, one style of wide angle, one style of
See,
like
I think if you're getting
telephoto lens.
if you're talking DLSR, I don't think that's
Mhm.
even a market they get into. Not
Okay.
in store, not in inventory. You can
Hmm.
have the option to order that, but I don't think you inventory that because that's too enthusiast.
Hmm.
Like we're avoiding enthusiast as much as we can because that's the stuff that stuff's not gonna move.
Hmm.
You know, that's the problem. Like when Radio Shack had the problem before, we sold Blackberries back in the day
I
because
remember.
Blackberries were free, and I got a $30 commission every time you activated a Blackberry with me. So you
Hmm.
on Sprint. So you goddamn better believe everyone who came in was getting a Sprint Blackberry. The Blackberry curve, it was awful. Nobody wanted to buy the Bold though. Bold was kind of nice. But in an iPhone world, that was the thing, and it was free, and that was a lot cheaper than iPhone. Um,
Hmm.
but that's the thing is then you have the high end phones, until the people come in who are explicitly looking for the iPhone. You're sitting on a bunch of iPhones, you're sitting on a bunch of Evos and things like that, and you're trying
Hmm.
to sell them. But no, I want this free BlackBerry, and it's like, all right, I'm not gonna say no. I've got 50 of those in the back. I'll sell you. And plus, the iPhone was exclusive to AT&T at the time, so that was like a double whammy. Anybody who came in with Verizon or anything couldn't get it. So that's what you got to avoid. You got to avoid the niche audience. That's even better. Don't necessarily avoid the enthusiasts. Avoid the niche. That's what gets you into trouble because it's hard to move the niche. We
What was
just
I say? I'm just to say that's pretty much it, really. I feel like if they check those boxes, Radio Shack could be pretty successful. Just
they're not doing anything we just said.
I don't know because it seemed like they were. I seen an ad on Instagram because Instagram is just turned into Sky Mall
Yeah.
essentially, and they seemed like they were doing more hobbyist stuff. I didn't pay too much attention aside from the fact like, oh, that's Radio Shack. And then I clicked
Maybe.
past it, then clicked and then seen or like touched past it or whatever, swiped past it.
Yeah, I really think like if Radio Shack doesn't do it, somebody needs to make that store because that
Mhm.
store is going to. I feel like that's a successful store waiting to happen. Like that in my mind reminds me of like back in the day. You remember Media Play?
No.
Media Play was the best, dude. Like you went in there, they had everything. Like they
Mhm.
had video games, they had DVDs, they had anime, they had manga, they
Okay, so
had
it seems like
books,
they're
clothes.
back. They're not selling cell phones, it seems like, but they're
Good.
selling hobbyist stuff. But it seems like they went too niche, and they're not like in the computer space as much. Like it looks like they have like some Arduino chips, some like Raspberry Pis and stuff, and then like radios and wireless chargers, and like some like remote control cars and stuff.
Well, RC cars was their bread and butter in the 90s.
Mm. I'm just telling you like what it looks like they're carrying right
Nat, we
now.
need to find some investors.
Mm.
All right. We're going to make a
Mm.
store, and it's going to be the store we were just talking about.
This is what they posted 2 days ago. An LED tree is what they're selling.
Okay. Yeah. No, they went the wrong way.
What do you want? You not want an
That's
Odyssey wireless
exactly the
tension
thing.
relief eye mask?
That's exactly the thing I said that they can't do, and they already did it.
You don't want a tension relief mask?
Yeah, we need to find investors. I really think our idea will fly. I think we can do it. We just need to find some investors. When Radio Shack collapses again, we'll buy up their space and then we'll open our stores.
CN Power Tower Shack?
And we'll just call it CN Power. The
Yeah.
CN Power store. That's what we should name our gift shops in the Perkitect. Oh, God. That was fun. I like doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind
the
of
only other thing is
building the store I want to go to.
only other thing I really wanted to talk about was Divinity and Redditors fucking all the hedge funds on
Oh my God.
GameStop stock.
That is hilarious. It's like one of the short sell companies lost like $3 billion, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nuts. They're losing so
funny.
much money on GameStop.
it's funny watching like people from those like hedge funds call into like MSNBC and stuff and talk about how they need legislation, but it's the same people for years. It's like, no, we need to be free. We don't need legislation. But you
It's
turn
the
to the
same
government
people.
to buy you and save you, to buy you out when you fucked up. But now that you're getting fucked by some savvy people on Reddit, oh, we need legislation. People shouldn't just be able to go on Robinhood and buy stock. No, fuck you.
It's the same people who literally tried to ensure GameStop failed
Yeah,
by putting a short on
short
them,
selling it.
by
Yeah.
short selling them and being like, yeah, no, we want them to fail. And then
Mhm.
because they didn't, now they're pissed. Like, that to me seems like the bigger offense here. You
Yeah,
know,
that's so
people
fucked.
putting their money into GameStop, say what you will about GameStop, but that at least is giving GameStop a vote of confidence. And like, that's the thing, is they could have picked any stock.
GameStop is worth $10 billion right
They
now.
could have
Fucking
picked
GameStop.
They could have picked any stock. Okay. They could have done any one. The fact that they
Mhm.
picked GameStop is like that just shows that there's still people who care about GameStop. You know, that's how
GameStop
I see
and
it.
AMC are Fortune 500 companies right now. That's
Oh my
fucking crazy.
God. What do you think? The thing is they're
They also
eventually gonna
pumped
sell.
BlackBerry. They pumped a
I
bunch of
saw
just
that.
random
They're
shit.
gonna sell though, and GameStop is gonna crash. That's the only
GameStop is
downside.
gonna crash, yeah.
But like, what if they didn't? What if they just kept that in there? Like, what? Maybe GameStop should do what we said.
She, that, I mean, it would work better than ThinkGeek.
Yeah, it worked better than instead of having a table of Funko Pops, have a table of graphics cards. Just talk to people and just be like, hey, you know, you want to try PlayStation
Actually hire
VR?
people who know what they're talking about instead of weirdos.
Hey,
That would probably help.
we'll build your PC for
This
$100.
is
We'll have it
one of my
ready
favorite
same
things
day.
I've seen in a while. Oh, let's see if I can get it to focus in properly. Can you read what that says?
Not really.
It says Robinhood traders with $600 stimmy checks, and it's like Terminator, and it's like an anime girl under a desk, and it says
Oh,
hedge funds.
yeah. No, I've seen that meme. Yeah, I've
That's
seen
so funny.
variations of that meme. That's a good one. I don't know. Maybe GameStop should do that. I don't know. But like the thing is it's all going to come crashing down. But these people can't be mad when they're literally trying to encourage companies to fail in the market.
Well, more
When their
so,
business is making companies fail, like that's not you
the
don't
same
get to be
reason.
upset.
This is going to be a stretch, but the same reason I really like, whether win or lose, I really like Bernie Sanders' campaign to GameStop doing this now. It isn't because it's like some rich asshole decided, oh, I really care about this. It was because the people decided they cared about this, and it took that is taking that company farther. And it's like what took Bernie Sanders so far. And it's what that type of stuff is always more meaningful to me than it is the what you call it. Like, even if it's just some people memeing out and saying fuck you, you know what I mean? I way more enjoy that than enjoying some company just being like, oh, we're deciding that GameStop dies today.
Yeah, no,
That's essentially what they tried to do.
yeah, and like I just hope that GameStop takes this publicity and takes this second lease on life. I would love it if GameStop went out to these investors and just be like, "Hey, you know what? Like go to that Reddit thread and just be like, "Listen, what do we have to do to get you to keep these investments? You guys are in like not say like you guys are in charge, but go to these people and just be like, "Hey, you guys picked us. Obviously there's something you want. Tell us what we can do to keep you invested and follow through with that." Like that's the key. If GameStop can keep these people invested, and if it becomes something of like get rid of the Funko Pops and all the other garbage, and then GameStop comes through and be like, "Fine, done, we'll do it." What else? You know, like that could be kind of take Reddit, this sounds insane. When I say it out loud, this sounds insane. But you take this subreddit and you give them a seat at the table and you talk to all your other advisors, you know, Reggie Fils-Aimé and all that, and then just be like, what do you think, subreddit? And then they come through with their hive mind opinion, and it's just like, well, they own $9 billion. So
I just thought about it. Reggie is there. This is
Reggie's
no coincidence. This is no coincidence.
Oh god.
Reggie is the master of memes. He infiltrated the discords.
Oh my god. Reggie's out there under a name hashtag. He's got the hashtag Save GameStop trending under on a burner account.
Oh
He
man.
put 1 million of his own in there.
Well, yeah, that
But
that was super interesting though.
I think that would be cool if they kind of pulled this hive mind. You know, you take this subreddit and you kind of divide it to the GameStop people, and the GameStop people join it, and like, you know, maybe you make it like an approved, you know, you have to be approved, you have to show us your shares or something like that, and then be like, okay, so now here's this hive mind, and you go on the boards. Okay, so here's what this subreddit wants us to do, and then or give them like find a way to get these people and get them involved directly, and just be like, okay, you're our biggest investors right now. What do we have to do to keep you happy?
Yeah.
Maybe this is, you know, what GameStop needed. Maybe GameStop needed a meme to save their lives.
This is the only thing that could have saved them at that point.
Like,
I can't remember the site. There's like not smaller Element 14. What if GameStop took all this, bought Element 14, and then just went super obvious like we were talking about?
that would be cool. And like that's like the thing I think they're missing is like is that neat. They don't have a reason to bring people into their stores because games are going to dry up as a physical medium. There will always be a need for consoles and stuff like that. And while I don't want to see a world where GameStop doesn't exist, because I love the idea that there is a store dedicated to games. I think that is an important thing. Whether it's GameStop or whether it's someone else, I think it's cool that there's that. But I think that's the play. I think you turn GameStop, instead of making it an esports destination, you turn it into a gaming enthusiast destination. Hey, I want to build a new PC. Oh, well, GameStop will build you a PC. Well, this streamer I watch does this thing. Yeah, but you can pick it up the same day. You know, that's the difference. Oh, but the streamer I watch is sponsored by NZXT. I'm going to buy from them and use their offer code, Tim the Tatman, you know, and it's just like, no, go to GameStop. It's the same price and they'll do it the same day.
Even if they don't, like, they could just offer to build a PC. Hey, bring your parts in, pay the fee, and we'll build it for you.
That would be cool too. And like, you know, obviously you sign the waiver of like, hey, you know, like we're not responsible for damage, but if you're hiring good people, then it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, kind of take that on and be like, hey, we want to be the destination.
Or they could even do like, you come in there and then they have like, hey, here's our supported list of suppliers. Pick out your parts. You could buy it through the sites and everything. And they could do a list where it's like, hey, co-assignment through us. We buy the parts you want, whatever parts you want, and we'll put it together.
Yeah. Again, $100, we'll put it together. You know, if you pay any like extra shipping charges or anything, we'll build it. We'll have it ready for you by this date, you know?
Yeah.
Boom. And then do the same thing like we were talking. Oh, yeah, you know, hey, you know, bring in your GPU. We'll install it for $30, you know? And hey, while you're here, we've got this deal on RAM. Boom. That's how you upsell. Or hey, you know, come in and buy a new PC. We'll give you a $50 Steam gift card. You know, it's a little thing like that where it's like, all right, well, you know, I can use offer code, you know, whatever, or I can get a $50 Steam gift card or GameStop gift card or something.
Said this before, but you know what they need to corner the market on as well?
What's that?
Smart like home products, not like Alexas and stuff, but like
Philips Hue.
Like Hue bulbs, like just the stuff like that.
The little honeycomb little light things. What are those called?
I can't remember what those are called, but they have all of those to like snazzy your room up for streaming and stuff.
See,
like
GameStop needs to carry RGB.
Yeah.
RGB everything. Funny enough, Nat. I bought this mouse at GameStop. The 502. I had credit. I had a gift card. I bought it at GameStop.
You might be the king of GameStop credit. You always end up with $100 in GameStop credit somehow. I'm like,
dude,
what the
like
fuck?
Anytime I go there, I'm just like, all right, you know, what don't I need anymore? And I trade a bunch of stuff in and I walk out because I wait for the deals and they're like, all right, extra 40% if I trade in 5 games, you know, trade in like 2 games that are worth 30 cents, but the games that are worth something, all of a sudden now they're like $30. Walk out with like $100 something. I come home with, that's literally every game I've bought on my PS5 has been paid for by GameStop credit. because I go in and I buy the gift cards, and I had so much credit in my PSN wallet that it wouldn't let me add anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life. I should have bought Hitman there. Damn it. Because
But yeah, I
I
was gonna
forgot
say
I have the money there.
only thing else I think yes for me is Divinity. I've been having so much fun playing Divinity. I was low key hoping Ross would have got on today and then be like we finished the podcast early and then be like, yo, we got like an hour. You guys want to play some Divinity?
I
I
was
was
kind
gonna
of
hope
hoping
that
the same thing.
I could convince everybody and then it didn't happen. Which is
Yo,
kind of
man,
sad.
we are starting to roll though through that. Like
Mhm.
I'm really impressed with what we've been doing. We're finally getting our groove on, you know, like everybody has kind of figured out their role, and now that we got you decked out, you are absolutely our strongest character. Like
I knew my character was gonna take off because I played
literally
through
now.
already. And no, but yeah,
And
literally. And
Ross.
I was gonna say the thing is, I knew that the problem with Divinity is you really can't experiment too many things. You really need to hone in on one thing. And I took some wrong skills early because of what I was playing before. That's why I really can't wait till I respec. Because I respec, I'm probably gonna double in strength because I need to get rid of elemental arrows because they're actually not good. Not the actual arrows, but I have a skill called elemental arrows, and I need to get rid
Yes.
of that skill, that passive skill, because it's actually not beneficial to my character.
Wait, can you get rid of that? Or is that just
When
isn't
I
that just a
respec, I'm
skill
pretty
isn't that just a skill though?
no. So there's elemental arrows, and then there's like uh, so like I don't know what it's called. The traits. It's a trait
Okay.
or whatever. It's like elemental something, and it's something that gives you bonus, not bonus elemental arrows, but it's something. But for whatever reason, archers can't take advantage of it.
Hmm.
And it's really random, and it
Okay.
doesn't work with my build, and I need to take that off. But yeah, once I can stealth cloak in and out of situations, it's over. Like I can already like teleport, but there's like
Once we
another
got you
level to
that
that.
changed everything.
hmm That and
I
yeah,
think
because I need
cloak
to
and
get some
dagger is what you
scoundrels for
want,
that.
right?
Yeah, I need cloak and dagger.
Yeah, because that's what I've been using. That's been great. That has been my big thing, is just staying out of the fights as long as possible,
uh,
waiting for the moment, and then just going in and doing a bunch of damage to one guy. Like that's
mhm.
my bread and butter right now, is just waiting,
I
and
don't have
everybody else is
any
fighting, and then
right
I
now.
jump in and kill someone.
I had, but there's like something where I can maximize with my character where like I do like 2 times damage if I'm hidden, so I can shoot
Yeah.
from while being hidden, and all that stuff is just gonna like stack, and it's gonna be ridiculous.
I
But
can't wait
that
till I get
and
stealth.
I need to get I think that's glass cannon. Yes, if I'm hidden, that like I take half damage and stuff whenever somebody tries
No,
to hit me.
glass cannon, I think, sacrifices your defense for additional offense. It's basically lone wolf for
You know, 'cause
group play.
I wanted to build a lone wolf character, but I didn't want. I can't do it while playing group play. That's
Right.
why I'm taking because I'm
Yeah, so
essentially
glass
building a
cannon's
lone wolf
similar, but
for
for
glass.
yeah,
With
but
glass
for groups. Yeah. Yeah, as long as we
I was
keep you
expecting something
safe and
like that.
isolated, you should be fine. Um Ross just stands in the middle of the map now and just takes it. And
Mhm.
then Cypher just runs around and just throws fire at people all the time.
That's what I
And
was
then
trying to
it's
tell
usually
them.
me and you just picking people off in the
I
back.
was trying to tell them yesterday. It's like I was like,
Excuse me.
hey, if you guys see any armor you need that I have, just tell me because I really just need armor with. I don't need strong armor. I need armors with status effects. So if it's weak and I have status effect, realistically, once we get off the island, I should never get hit again. Like you know
Hopefully,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like it should. It's a bad situation if I'm getting hit
Yeah. No,
because
I
I
get you.
need to up my points that I could do per turn, and once I do that if I get cloak and dagger and I at least have 2 points, if I cloak and dagger and whatever I have right now, as long as I have the skill where I can go hidden, I'm gonna be fine because I'll just go hidden and I should be able to be. There's a skill I have where I take less damage if I'm hidden. So even if somebody hits me, it's gonna be harder for me to take damage as long as I, remember at the end of my turn to go back and hide. So
Yeah. I gotta get
should be
that curse off of me. Oh man.
we
Hate
literally
that
because as
curse.
I'm saying this, I don't think there's much else on the island that we have to do. So we're literally gonna leave and get the collars off as soon as we get off. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I really, the more we could play that, the better, because I really am having a good time. Because now that I'm finally getting like some good armor, and now I can take a couple of hits, I can afford to kind of be not necessarily reckless, but I can afford to kind of be a little more aggressive and be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can take this fight because even if they hit me, I'll just turn around and kill them after, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of where I'm at. I want to raise my action points too. Like if I can get 5, if I can get up to 5, or hell, if I could get 6, that would be huge, because you saw when I started like pumping adrenaline, I can 3 tap people. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I can get 6, I can kill people in a turn. Like
I
it's
was just saying,
done.
you
It's
see
a done deal.
how much damage I do is just like,
Well, that's what I've
especially
been
that
saying to
last
you.
turn
That's
with
why I
the
wanted you to
fucking.
just shoot the regular arrows.
Nah, but so the thing is, unless I have the like, there's times where I've where I've been messing up with the elemental arrows wasn't that like so the last time we was in the battle where I had the height advantage, I knew the regular arrows was gonna do more damage, but I was trying to hit the guy with the ricochet to do damage across the board.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking
And
about that
then
one. No, I
and
was
then
just
the
talking. There were a couple times where you used the elemental arrow on a guy who had no physical armor but had magic armor,
yeah.
and so
I mean
you'd hit him
that
with the
was
fire
me.
arrow, and then it's just like nothing, you know.
That was me planning to hit somebody and then looking and then forget which one I was gonna hit and then trying to like not
Okay.
hold you guys up. So I just click and then I'm like,
Take
oh
your
fuck, that's
time.
the wrong
Take
guy.
your time. We got all night, you know.
And the other thing with and I wanted to just figure out the different stuff with the elemental arrows because I just made a bunch of them. I'm probably gonna relax with the elemental arrows instead of like in just random situations. I need to diversify the types of elemental arrows I have. But yeah, should be good.
But yeah,
That
I think our
barrage at
group
the
is in a
end
good
was
place.
good.
Oh my god! Like when Ross was just like, I don't even know what happened, because I knew
Mhm.
what you did, and I was just like, oh shit. Like, because that's what I've been trying to do. Like with the searing daggers, those have been really nice to have. So I'm probably gonna ditch Pyromancer, or not
Yeah.
Pyromancer, Geomancer. I'm gonna ditch Geomancer, but I'm gonna keep Pyromancer because
I
I
ditched
like that.
everything but my huntsman skills, essentially. Like all my skills are gone except for my huntsman skills.
Yeah,
Like I even ditched the elemental arrows. I ditched something else. I ditched the pin down thing that I was using. Like while that was useful, the damage I'm doing is so much more useful. And if I want to pin somebody
yeah,
down, I really should just be using a knockdown arrow instead of having
yeah.
a dedicated skill
Oh
because
my god, that.
barrage, the teleport, the first aid are so much more useful.
Yo, those two books we got me though, the tendon one and the one that lets me, the one I stole that lets me. God, we need to let me steal more. That is some of the most fun I have playing that game. Is just robbing everybody blind. I'm gonna put so many more points into that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
steal everything they have, Nat. I'm gonna put all my points into thievery, just so I can
I was
keep
gonna say with
stealing.
thievery, the next thing is I'm putting a lot of points into sneaking as well.
We
So
need the
realistically, when you steal something, ideally you should be able to pass it to me, and they shouldn't notice me as long as I go hidden.
right, as long as you're invisible. Yes.
Yeah.
What we need to do is we need somebody to go hard on persuasion. If it's not going to be
Mhm.
you, somebody needs to go hard on not persuasion, the one the barter.
Mhm.
Somebody like
Mine is actually pretty high already.
okay,
Like,
so yeah, as long as yours is already high, because like I just don't want to lose that, because
uh-huh,
you're our best, because you buy cheap and you sell high,
uh-huh.
and that's what
What
we
I was gonna
need.
say also for you, what I wanted to tell you is there's a disengage skill that we need to get you.
Oh, to get me
Like
out of battle.
disengage from combat because
Yes.
I I think this is how this works is if we can disengage you in combat and I'm trying to get because my character is going to be high in sneaking and movement, ideally we should be able to you and me should be able to disengage from combat while they're focusing on Ross and then move into a different position and re-engage where we
Well,
want.
you saw in that last battle
Mhm,
how I went all the way around the map and stuck up on that dude up on the
mhm,
perch. Like that's
yeah,
what I need to be doing more of. So yes,
mhm,
if I can get a skill that lets me do that more, that's
yeah.
perfect. Because dude,
Because I mean,
I
you
could
could just
go
run
all the way
away
around
with
and just come back.
selecting it, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be as successful because there's going to be a roll of the dice. But we need something where it's like if you can, like, there's a skill where it's like if you can hide, you have like a 50% chance of disengaging, and if you can disengage pretty reliably, then it's worth it because you can really come out and then get back in it. Like we can hold up combat and then you can re-engage in like an more advantageous point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Which
100%.
is going to be
We
really good
should
for
we
me.
should
So if
look for
we ever
that.
end up in combat where I'm out of place, I can disengage and then re-engage in
Yeah.
ideal like position.
Yeah. And man, that cloak and dagger completely changed the way I play. Like just being able to move around out like while everybody else is fighting. Like I know Cypher was getting frustrated because he was getting targeted a lot, but it
Yeah.
was so worth it when I would get in and just kill the archer or something, you know, or target down the mage right away. Because
Well,
once my initiative is high, so once I engage, I'm usually the next person on the list.
and there's some like I don't know if it's a rune, but a helmet or something that reduces the cooldown of skills. And I really want that because then I'll be able to use my sky shot more often or my teleport more often.
I need to up my initiative as much as possible. The higher I can get that, the better, because I need to go before everybody. Because then if I can get my action points higher, then I'm just killing somebody at the start of every encounter, you know? That's where I want to get.
If I get my what was I saying? I just drew a blank. Yeah, if I get the what was I just talking about? I can't remember.
You were talking about using your sky shot and stuff more frequently.
Oh yeah, so if I can reduce the cooldown of those, like that's what I was trying to say. There's so many points, like when we was fighting the meat golems and stuff, where like I should be able to shoot, but the way the map is set up, you really can't shoot over some ledges that are only like this tall.
Yeah.
That the sky shot just eliminates all of that, where I could just jump, boop, boop, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you.
And the great thing about my teleport skill is it's only one action point. Like most of my skills are 2, some are 3. That's 1. So realistically, most turns now I can use that because now I used to have only 4, and now I have 5 action points.
How'd you get the extra action point?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have 5 though now.
Right,
I can use that
and then
or
attack twice.
encourage pretty much every turn.
Yeah.
And then attack twice.
No, that's dope. Yeah. I really want to play more of that.
Yeah.
Damn it, Ross.
Divinity is such a good game.
That is a
and
really
once we're done with that, we got to figure out how to export our characters to everybody, because I think we can play some of the custom maps and stuff like the custom campaigns people make with our same characters.
That would be cool. I would like to do that.
Some of the custom campaigns are pretty cool. They don't have voice acting, but
who cares?
They're cool. You know what I mean? Cool encounters.
Yeah, no, that'll be a lot of fun. I would very much like to do that. Yeah, pop my mouse off the charger here. Yeah, I mean, otherwise for me, I haven't. I had the best of intentions to play Hitman, and the beginning Januaries are always weird for me. I don't really play new games in January because after Game of the Year, I just end up playing games like like Destiny or Apex or something. I play a lot of like social multiplayer games just to kind of like relax and not have to worry about like that's like January is kind of the 1 month that I don't have to worry about like playing the newest games. And unfortunately, Hitman came out last week. Not unfortunate, but you know what I mean. So I got to get caught up on that. And then the Medium comes out tomorrow as of this recording. And I do want to try that as well. So I do have some work ahead of me. But those will be games that I will be talking about those games next week. 100%. You have my word. Otherwise, I've really just been playing Destiny and Apex. Doing some raids.
I would have bought Hitman already, but I don't get paid till Friday.
See, I want I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I wanted to play Hitman 3 because I heard the story is crazy and like really good, but I also wanted to play it because like you always go to bat for Hitman, and I just haven't played those games, and I want to be able to go to bat with you. I want when next time you talk about Hitman, I want to be like, yo, Nat's right.
Well, like I've realized this is also like I really like games, and that seems like such a like basic statement, but I really like games that are like a sandbox, that are like in essence like, hey, you can do what you want. And Hitman is definitely one of those games where it's just like you can do whatever the fuck you want for the most part. Like here are the rules of this world. Now go do whatever the fuck you want. And Hitman is that for me, and I really just have fun just fucking around in there.
Yeah, no, I like I've watched a lot of them, but I haven't played the new ones. I haven't actually ever,
Mhm,
believe it or not, I haven't played a Hitman game, and I've bought two of them because I bought Hitman Absolution back in the day because it was
mhm,
like dirt cheap. I meant to play it and didn't. And then this is only the second Hitman game I've ever bought, but I'm really looking
mhm,
for. I spent last Wednesday before the podcast. I
mhm,
watched 2 hours of cutscenes from Hitman 1 and 2 just so I would be caught up on the story.
mhm. I
So I know what's
I should
going on
send
at
you
least.
a picture of my library and all the Hitman games in here.
Yeah, I
I
do
think
I
I own
own
every
the other?
Hitman game aside from
I
3.
know I don't. I own Hitman, like the first one of this trilogy. I own
Mhm,
Blood Money. I own Absolution. And
mhm,
then on the Epic Game Store, I bought the add-on packs for Hitman 1 and 2 so
mhm.
I could use those levels in Hitman 3.
So,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
I own every Hitman game aside from 3 and Contracts.
Is Hitman 3 the one that like people aren't crazy about?
But 3 is the new one. I'm talking about the new one.
Oh. Wasn't there a Hitman 3 or was that Blood Money?
I actually like Blood Money. It's the
I know a
problem with
lot of people like Blood Money.
Blood Money is so the problem is Blood Money is more story driven. So it's like the start of this idea of the open world. So there's like multiple targets and multiple things, but it's not as open as like these are. So I would say that. I don't know what specifically people hate or like because these are one of those games where I grew up liking and I just liked and I talked about it with people. I feel like these are Hitman games didn't get tainted by the internet, if that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Because I
I,
didn't talk to anybody online about Hitman. Hitman was just a game I enjoyed privately.
Yeah, and I know Hitman Absolution. I know that has a weird history because that one's more linear, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like that one is much
Well,
more
that's yeah.
like
Hitman
action
Absolution
focused.
and Blood Money are more linear, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Blood Money's still a little more
No, Blood
open.
Money is open. It's Absolution's
There's the
so everything I said before, I was actually talking about Absolution.
Got it. Okay.
I like Absolution though. That's
Somebody
the one where it's
I was looking at the games on Steam and somebody made an image and it's the picture.
Absolution is the 2012 one.
Yeah. It's the picture of Agent 47 and it's split down the middle and it says NVIDIA Hairworks off and NVIDIA Hairworks on. And it's just the
That's funny.
one. Oh god, people are so stupid. I love it. Jesus, man.
But I'm just happy to see because for Hitman to get cut by it's like Square and they like IO and they take Hitman and buy it from them and do what they want and they take the gamble and for 2 to be successful and now 3 to be successful and them already recoup
I
all
think
their funds and stuff.
3 is
It's like
already I think the best selling of the new trilogy
mhm.
as far as I'm
It's
aware, which is like really dope for them.
yeah, I'm excited because I just like a good story like that. You know what I mean? And the other
I get
game
you.
that scratched that itch for me is kind of bad now, and that was Deus Ex. Deus Ex is not great right now.
Yeah.
And Hitman and Deus Ex scratched that certain itch. Deus Ex is more my steez with the cyberpunk aesthetic, but you know how that's going with cyberpunk. So
Yeah. Well, I think we pretty much covered games. I did pull a couple news things, not nothing crazy, but just a couple things I thought were worth talking about. Did you hear about this whole Xbox Live Gold fiasco that happened last week
oh yeah, that
on Friday? So for those who
I
aren't
try
aware,
not to be as hot takey now, but I really don't understand what the fuck Microsoft thought was going to happen.
right? So for anybody who doesn't know, Xbox Live costs $60 a year. It's like
Mhm.
$30 for 3 months, and it's like $15 for a month or something, or $10, $12. I don't know, something stupid.
I think it's
Um,
20 for No, is it 20? I think it's 10 for a month.
No, $9.99 for a month,
Yeah,
$24.99 for 3
3
months,
months. Yeah,
$39.99 for 6 months, and $59.99 for 12. So
there we go.
Microsoft doubled all of those.
Yes,
Um,
and said fuck you, and all
so
your free to play games you also have to have Xbox Live for across the board.
Microsoft doubled the price of Xbox Live Gold to be more in line with like Game Pass Ultimate and stuff like that. And it sparked a dangerous conversation. It wasn't even just that people were pissed, because here's Microsoft doubling the cost of playing games online on their console. That wasn't the worst part. The worst part was everybody on the internet being like, hey, you could just play these games on PC and you don't have to pay to play them at all, like online. You can just buy the game and play it online on the same infrastructure and not have to pay $60 a year. And that's not, that in itself, historically has not been enough to sway people to PC. So I didn't think it was going to start now. But all of a sudden, people start being like, yeah, why are we paying for this when PC
Also,
doesn't?
Sidebar, I just feel like, so the thing with Microsoft, it's so hard because I feel like with Game Pass, Microsoft has been doing everything right by gamers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they've been doing like, hey, we know gamers. We're like, we know what everybody understands. I just don't know how they got so ignorant and let that out. One, two, the next problem with that is like, while the Xbox is more available than the PlayStation, people still don't have the fucking console. Don't fucking persuade them not to buy it when most of your customer base still doesn't have it.
I think both of them are equally sold out.
From my experience, I could get an Xbox easier than I can get a PlayStation. Xbox comes in stock easier. Maybe it's, I don't know why, but I do see more people with the Xbox, not because more people want it, but more people can get it easier, if that makes sense.
Okay. I would like to get my hands on one, so,
maybe it's because they're split, you know what I mean? Like with the PlayStation identity, it's like, oh, there is only like
there's only
digital,
one hardware configuration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for like Xbox, there's two, so it's like S and what you call it. So
S and X.
Yeah. So maybe that's why, but yeah.
Yeah. So Microsoft released a statement later that day. Like, it happened Friday morning, 11:52 p.m. Friday evening, Friday night. We messed up today, and you were right to let us know. Connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming, and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we have decided not to change Xbox Live Gold pricing. The other good thing that came of this is Microsoft has also reversed course on requiring gold for free-to-play games. They will no longer require you to pay for Xbox Live Gold to play games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone. So if the game is free, you can play it online for free. Which that's the thing that might actually get a game like Final Fantasy XIV to go over if they relax that on subscription service games as well. Because if I remember correctly, one of the reasons they didn't do it is because they didn't want people to have to pay 2 subscriptions to play it online. Because I'm pretty sure you can play that online on PlayStation without like an additional, without PlayStation Plus.
You can play all of the MMOs that are on PlayStation without a PlayStation Plus. Because I remember when it wasn't, was it Justice League Online?
DC Universe Online.
DC Universe Online. I think it was DC Universe Online. On Xbox, you had to have a gold to play it online, and on PlayStation, you could just play it.
Exactly. That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
I love that game. But yeah, so like maybe that's how they open the door to get a Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox, because that game is great and more people should be able to play that.
I have several friends who keep trying to get me to play that, and I'm like,
it's a good game.
I've just learned about myself that I don't like MMOs.
I like MMOs. I just hate investing the time in them. I don't know. It's weird.
That's the problem, is I'm not available to invest that much time into them.
No, that's fair.
So the time required for me to enjoy them isn't available. And I would much rather be doing other things than investing that much time.
And that's why I end up playing a game like Destiny instead, because Destiny is more immediately rewarding, because the reward in Final Fantasy 14 is from the questing. Destiny, I can just get on, land in a zone, and just start shooting things, and that feels good enough where it's like, okay, I'm satisfied, I don't have to go out and look for a quest or something to feel like I actually did something. Because if you just go out and kill shit in Final Fantasy 14, it's kind of boring.
Also, I know this is kind of early, but it's been rolling out and they've been updating it slowly. After we're done with Divinity, are we all gonna get Baldur's Gate?
Isn't Baldur's Gate only single player?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Baldur's Gate is just Divinity reskinned.
I know, because Baldur's Gate used to be real time, and I kind of wish they did that. I plan on buying that this year.
I plan on buying it this year too. Because Baldur's Gate is made by the new Baldur's Gate is made by Larian.
Yep, we should buy it on Stadia. It does have online co-op. Shit. All right.
Because I'm pretty sure it is just literally Divinity 2 reskinned.
All right, but listen,
that's not a bad thing.
If we're gonna do Baldur's Gate, then that has to be like we need to play more. We need to start playing more. Because
I don't mean right now.
No,
obviously, I think everybody's going to want to break. And even if everybody doesn't come back for Baldur's Gate, I will play Baldur's Gate with you.
I want to play it. So, listen, when Baldur's Gate 3 gets to a couple more updates, because doesn't this leave early access this year?
Yes, and that's when I plan on buying. Is when it leaves early access.
Yeah. Anticipate Baldur's Gate 3 being early access for at least 1 year. And it came out in October. So if it comes out in time for Game of the Year this year, I say me, you, we get Cypher, and then we try and get someone else, and we power through Baldur's Gate. I'm down for that. Because the early access version has it has 25 hours of content right now. Let's all buy it on Stadia.
I can. I don't have I guess I do technically have a Stadia. I don't have one.
Well, no, but if you buy the game, you can play it. But no.
If I pull this out, you might think this is just a human-made thing, but I've talked about it a lot. But here's my character sheet for D&D. I love D&D, and I would love to play. That's what drew me so much to Divinity. It was like, oh, I can play D&D without the. Even without having to get everybody to play D&D, but then I can never get anybody to play Divinity with me.
I'm down to do D&D if you ever want to do that. I've wanted to try it for a long time.
I got some dice here. I got a nice pouch.
Can you DM? Because I got a group. If you could DM,
if I have enough time, I could DM if you wanted me to.
Because I have a group. If we can get a DM, I have a group. I always wanted to DM, but I feel like I should play first.
So here's the thing: if we're gonna we should roll everybody's sheets and everything, and then figure out how we're gonna play. Because even it depends. We can make a custom, not DM like that way, but we can make a custom campaign in Divinity because all the tools are there to do that.
I was gonna say that, or Tabletop Simulator.
Or we could do. I was gonna say Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Sim would probably be Tabletop Sim would probably be the easiest because then we could roll the dice and stuff.
Yeah,
and then everybody's kind
whatever
of
you want.
That,
I'm down.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that if we ever want if we can ever get that going. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is on my short list of games that I'm really looking forward to this year, and that's increasing as we play more Divinity. I just added it to my wish list because I realized
if you guys
are
not happy with my DM, I can get my normal DM to DM for us, who's way more knowledgeable in D&D. My friend Neil. And he's pretty good. He's the one who's gave me the push to play D&D.
If he's down to DM, I'm down for it because I want to try it. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I would like to stream it as long as he's okay with that. But
yeah, he should be fine.
I would pick a night and just do it
more. But I'm I've really been happy with me reclaiming games for myself.
That's fair. No, listen, that is completely fair. And I am more conscious of that as well. That's half the reason I haven't played Hitman is because I haven't wanted to stream it. And I planned on streaming Hitman, and I'm trying to avoid getting in that rut. That was why The Last of Us Part 2, I was just look, I'm not going to stream this game. This has to be a game I just play by myself, because if I play this on stream, it's never going to get done,
Yeah, I need to find the game, because I do want to start streaming more, but I need to find the game where I'm comfortable streaming while not being super conscious that I'm streaming. You know what I mean? That's why
Greedfall again.
That's why Greedfall was easy, because I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have to figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
D&D, man, I love some D&D.
So, some shit news came out this
Shit
week.
news.
Shit news.
R.I.P.
Not
Six Dogs.
it's R.I.P. Six Dogs. That wasn't the news, but R.I.P. Six Dogs. Vicarious Visions, developers of the Crash Bandicoot remaster, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, very talented group of developers who also did work on Destiny. So, I appreciate them for that. They do a lot of great development. I have been folded into Blizzard.
I've seen that.
And so now, here's this group of talented developers, and in the Activision way, instead of letting them make a game, i.e. Raven, as a perfect example, Raven makes the excellent Singularity. Activision does nothing to promote it. Singularity does not sell well, and now they're a Call of Duty studio. They're working on Warzone instead of making games with all the talent that developer has or had. I don't know who's still there from the Singularity era, but that was a talented team that could do great things. Singularity even had great multiplayer. People slept on that game. It's Activision's
I don't even
fault.
know what you're talking about, to be honest.
It's a time travel game. Like, you know how like one of the cool levels in Titanfall 2 was the time travel one? Oh my God. You didn't play Titanfall 2, did you?
This was the whole thing.
Oh, right. That's right. Oh, see, I didn't want to remember that. Okay, anyway. Raven's Singularity is like one of low key, like my like favorite like niche games. Like that is like the B game, but that's like the triple A B game. Like it is just it's amazing. But now they're a Call of Duty support studio. And so Vicarious Visions, again, instead of letting them develop a game and let them do something, they have to be, well, first you were on Destiny, now you're doing these remasters, and now you're Blizzard. So they are completely folded into Blizzard. It sucks. It really sucks that they're getting consolidated like this, because success should not be rewarded with like merger in that sense, like consolidation should not be the reward for success into the greater entity. You shouldn't have to lose your identity effectively to be rewarded by being moved into someone like Blizzard. And right now, Blizzard, I guess, needs all the help they can get to put a game out. Remember Overwatch 2? But like, it just blows my mind. And the rumor is that they're working on a Diablo 2 remake. So they're taking their talents and what they do best, and they're apparently, according to Bloomberg, applying it to Diablo 2. They're directly supporting Blizzard's Team 3, who is actively developing Diablo 4. They've been working with Team 3 all this time, so the folding in makes sense in that regard. And they've spent several months developing a Diablo 2 remake. So it's like, I get it. And on one hand, I almost don't think you could have picked a better developer short of like a Blue Point. I don't think you could have picked someone better, but it sucks that it cost them their identity to get there, What are you doing?
I was trying to, help promote the podcast and be like podcasting, and then didn't do that. But
I just didn't know what you were doing. Oh God.
I'm not trying to be too weird. Just the normal amounts.
No, I was just confused. It's okay. You're good. Continue to be you, Nat. I wouldn't want you any other way. But yeah, that's just disappointing to me because like, here I am wearing the StarCraft shirt, but it's like, it doesn't sit well with me, what they're doing. And it hasn't sat well with, other members of the industry and, other players and fans and stuff like that. Because they just, why take a talented development team and just fold them into someone else? Why not let them spread their wings and build a game? It's 200 people. It's not like they don't have the manpower. But here we are. Last piece of news here. Take this one with a little grain of salt. This one is a story I pulled from Tweaktown because they have access. TMT Finance is one of those like pay to get the info type places. Like you pay them a ton of money and they give you insider info. So Tweaktown apparently paid the money. Tencent, everyone's favorite Chinese conglomerate, is
Mhm.
apparently raising billions of dollars on a debt offer and may force a hostile takeover of a U.S.-based game company. Targets right now are EA, Take-Two, and potentially others. So basically, Tencent, according to this, is trying to just raise a bunch of money that the investors can't say no to and just take over the company, which is what EA tried to do to Take-Two, but failed.
No, no.
And that was like, God, that might have been like 10 years ago now, 12 years ago. I think that was like '08. They tried to.
Imagine if EA owned Rockstar and they fucked up GTA.
I feel like, listen, I don't think anyone is stupid enough to get in Rockstar's way. I think
Mhm.
even if EA had bought Take-Two,
Mhm.
you leave them alone. Rockstar does what Rockstar does. Maybe you focus on the 2K brand and stuff like that. But like, man, it's crazy. Like, because Take-Two remember they were gonna buy Codemasters, then EA just came out and was like, no, we're gonna outbid you, and bought
Hey,
Codemasters
yeah.
right out from under them.
Hey, Chris, what's your Instagram again?
I don't have an Instagram.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm trying to find you, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Doesn't exist.
I found the HalfGen Instagram
There
easier than I
is a
could find
HalfGen
you.
Instagram. Nobody runs it, so if you want it, it's yours.
No, I'm running
I wouldn't even tag
3
that because nobody's
Instagram
managing it.
pages right now.
Yeah, nobody manages that one. We had Jerry on that for a while, but I do some. The only reason I even still have a Facebook is because of the HalfGen Facebook.
These are the Instagram accounts I'm managing right now.
Trying to see.
There's my own,
Oh,
right?
it's
My
coming
own.
into
I
no.
technically have the 8-bit drum one, but I don't have it logged in on here. And I'm running the It's Chronicles podcast one and the Mars, like the dog Instagram page.
I need somebody to manage my social media for me. Because I'm bad at it. Ross and I are good about the Twitter. We've been good about getting stuff up there. Facebook, we're less good, and then Instagram, that was strictly a Jerry jam. So
Jerry Jams.
it was a Jerry jam. Yeah. I realize we should have a presence on Instagram. I just refuse to make an account because I don't want to do anything else with Facebook. And the only reason
Facebook, and I've deleted Facebook. Only thing left is Instagram because I do like pictures.
No, and that's fair. That's the thing. That's why I couldn't do Instagram. I don't do enough pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody who takes a lot of pictures who could manage that for me. So if you're interested, send an email to chris@halfgen.com with an Instagram account you manage, and let's see what we can do. The pay is great. It's $0. You make the same amount I do. It's great. So you're making just as much as the owner of the site. Actually, you're making more than me because you're not spending any money to keep the site up and running every month. So actually, you're making more money than I am, realistically, because I'm in the red. I've been in the red for years now. This shit ain't cheap, and maybe we need some Instagram ads. That's why I need an Instagram. I'll pay you first. Maybe Tencent will buy us. Let's trick them into thinking we're way bigger than we are.
10 cent buys you guys. I'm out of here.
Oh, I'm out too. Believe me. Take the money and run.
I'm not here. They're gonna be like, "Where's Nat?"
I won't be here either.
Nat is in Tulum boogie boarding.
No, we're gonna make a new website eventually, and it's just gonna be the three of us, and we're just gonna sit on a pile of money.
It's gonna be full gen.
We're gonna make that store, Nat. We're gonna make our store. We're gonna buy GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna turn it into the store of our dreams.
Our new site is gonna be called Full Gen.
Full gen. I like it. CN Games. Just don't tell Ross.
Nah. We gotta have Ross in there.
CNR.com.
That sounds too Russian.
Really?
That sounds too much like an Eastern European Union that took over a foothold in like a country somewhere.
Welcome to CNR.
And actually,
I don't know where to go.
If you rearrange those, it's Fallout NCR.
Yeah. Or the Republican National Convention. RNC.
I'm not even trying to go anywhere near that.
See, that's why we leave Ross out. Ross just wants the money, and he's done.
You just gotta use use last names. HOV.
No, that's the lane and the highway.
VOH.
No, VOH. Vo. Vo.com.
You see, the problem is, Ross, the O has to be in the middle because it's a vowel.
Yeah.
No matter what, it has to be in the middle. It can't be VHO. That's weird. It can't be OVH either. That's also weird.
Uva.
Yeah, that's weird.
Uva.com. But yeah, Tencent. So apparently there's a more likely scenario that Tencent might end up buying a South Korean developer. Netmarble is one. Nexon is one that they would apparently be looking at. So it looks like Tencent is really looking to buy somebody, and they don't care how they have to do it. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And if that, if anything comes of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're good. I think that's everything I had, unless you have anything else. All right. Let's call it a show there. Guys, if you've been watching, I hope you enjoy these video podcasts that we keep doing for you. Check them out. Look up HalfGen on YouTube. If you want to see, I would give you a link, but it's like a bunch of letters and stuff, and it's weird. Yeah, we need more subscribers. Subscribe to the YouTube. You're enjoying the podcast. More video stuff to come with the, for the new consoles, for PC. We should have a bunch of stuff on that. I'm going to try and record something for Hitman. Maybe, Nat, maybe you want to join me for something like that if we record something.
To buy it first. Huh?
No, but I mean, I can play. We can, there's ways. There's ways where we can do it together remotely, that we can experience Hitman together. Check out the site. Always make sure halfgen.com. We're doing our damnedest to get stuff up for you every week. My top 10 list finally went up. I apologize. It was hard to write, not in the sense of like I didn't have anything to say, but it was just like wording it the right way without like. It's weird because with the podcast, I feel like I talk so much about these games that I almost don't have anything left to say. And, it's sometimes it feels a little redundant to kind of rehash everything I've already said. So I tried to, work in a story or something here or there just to kind of make it a little fresh. Pardon me. So it took me a little longer than expected, but my top 10 is up. Number 1 will not surprise you at all. Anyone. Numbers 1 through 3, probably. Numbers 1 through 4, probably not a surprise to anybody. You don't, just making sure you don't want to put up a top 10. I don't know if you have any interest in that.
I don't know if I played 10 games last year.
Doesn't have to be 10. I didn't do 10 games from 2020. 2 of my games were Stellaris and Apex. For what it's worth.
I think about it. I don't know. I don't know what I played.
The offer stands if you want to make a list of 10 games you enjoyed in 2020. Mm-hmm. It can be any 10 games you enjoyed in 2020. It could be Parkitect. If I'd played more Parkitect, I would have put Parkitect. It can even include early access. It's your list.
I don't know. That's very intense. I don't know if I want to constrain my thoughts to a list.
Fair. I'm putting the offer out there, and if it's something you want to do, you're welcome to do it. But guys, everybody, thank you so much as always for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Later.